yo, here we have Marvel Legends. Hope Summers comes with the head and axe to build Terrax. Head and axe to build Terrax. There it is. Hope Summers, X-Men character. And here's the artwork on the package. Pretty cool that they're giving us some really obscure characters. This is really awesome. And this is current. This is a current character right now. So really awesome. I can't believe they did it. They did use a shield agent mold, but we'll get into that right now. Here's the back of the package, right, with all the characters. Includes Tales of Terrax Part 2 of 6. And I always have to do that voice because it brings character. Will the one destined to save mutants spell doom for mankind? Well, I don't know. Let's check out the figure and see if she's destined to be the one in Marvel Legends. Let's get this bad girl open. Here is the sheet. We got Galactus. Cool. Tales of Terrax 2 of 6. So you guys already know the drill with this. Each of them comes with a little education information for your specification on Terrax to understand the character a little more. Put this shit away. Read them in order, guys. Where art thou, head of Terrax? This is the head that comes with Hope. Pretty cool. And he comes with two other pieces that form his axe, the handle and the axe. We'll get into this also later when we do the bath. Let's move on to Hope Summers. Bam! This figure is pretty cool. Pretty cool. The detail on this figure is accurate and it's well made. We already know that this is the shield agent body with some tweaks, some added stuff, and a new paint job. The details on this figure pop. Certain areas that they paid attention to pop pretty well. For example, this scarf slash poncho slash rag on her body looks like almost like a dry brush. Looks really cool, and it goes with the gauntlets on her hands as well. Now I don't know if you can see it, but there's a metallic green paint job on this figure, and then a yellow. And the yellow is a little dull, but it actually goes well with it. The gauntlets here are an addition to the figure. They're not sculpted on. It seems like they're on there, but you can rotate them. We have the leg armor as well too that matches the gauntlets on her hand. Everything matches. Nothing is different paint tone or nothing is different two-tone or whatever. The head does pop off, and so does this, which is kind of cool because we don't know if later on down the line she decides to take that off and start rolling around in whatever it may be. I don't know, in a different costume or this same costume without the poncho. So it's kind of cool that it's removable. I like that. And look at this detail. Now this is the kind of stuff that they told us they couldn't do before, but it's being done now. The dry brushing, stuff like that. So it confuses me sometimes. Can they do it or can't they do it? And then they do it with some figures. So anyways, let's get into the articulation. You already know this is a shield agent body. It has a conjointed ball, single jointed elbow, and it's got the wrist rotation with the joint. And these hands do pop off. I'm not going to pop them off, but you can pop them off. And see this gauntlet? You can actually rotate it around so it doesn't hinder her articulation if you need to move her wrist around. Now we all know this torso doesn't flex very well. It's not the greatest for articulation. It gives us a little bit of trouble. Doesn't come forward as much, and it doesn't, bend back. We've got that half ball joint, which you rotate because there's no T, and you have that upper thigh swivel as well. Double jointed knees. Okay. Let's look at this. Yeah, no T-joint. That hasn't been changed. I don't know if they were talking about retooling that, but we'll see later. Down to the double jointed knees, and then of course we've got the toe joint points up and points down very well. It actually goes further than most figures. There's no ankle pivot, So I don't know if they're going to retool this figure in the near future. They said they are adding the T-joint and they are adding the ankle rockers to all figures moving forward on Wave 2. So this might be the last that we see of this shield agent having this sort of articulation. I don't know. I hope they do something about this upper torso flex so that it can bend further down and bend further back. But once again, we'll see moving on forward with Wave 2 and Wave 3 and 4 and so forth. Here's her weapon. This weapon is better known as the big ass gun from the Forge 2-pack. That's right, it's the same gun, if I recall. And it's got a lot of detail in there, but it's dull. It doesn't have any paint washes, and you know, it would have been cool if they would have just, you know, done it black and then dry brushed it in a gunmetal to make it look just a little bit better. You know, kind of like they do sometimes with the G.I. Joe weapons. You know, give us the same treatment. You know what I mean? I know G.I. Joe's iconic and maybe might be big. You know, it's bigger than Marvel Legends right now, but you know, fight for us, man. Fight for this kind of stuff. Fight for the detail. You know, get in your boss's face and tell him, hey man, don't treat us any different. We need Marvel Legends to be up at least on par with paint schemes that are used on G.I. Joe, Star Wars, and other brands that we carry. You know what I mean? They do 1,000 repaints of Transformers as well too, and they're even actually starting to add a little more detail to those Transformers, you know, movie figures and whatnot. But anyways, we want the same deal. It's very, very, very difficult to get the gun in her hand. I mean, I have just this gun grip on her right hand side doesn't really slide into the gun. You got to really play with it for a fucking long time. And then on this side, her gun doesn't really fit into her hand. It's not meant for the left hand. It's meant for the right hand. So as you can see, I'm struggling with putting the gun in there. So let's just skip forward to her with the gun in the hand. Here we go. Cool, finally got it in there after so much finagle. This overall is a great rendition of Hope. The only problem is she's a little too tall for being a 16-year-old. She's just, you know, a little out of scale. Well, we all know that this Shield Agent mold is tall and it's a little out of scale, period. It should be a little shorter. But overall, a great figure. Great way to start off Marvel Legends by adding X-Men characters that are obscure right off the bat, that are currently in comics now. And I'd like to see that further on down the line, because this kind of surprises us and lets us do other things in our collection. Hope you enjoyed the review. Hope Summers. Go get you some. Later.